Hello, everybody, and welcome to um our um I guess uh 10th session of Hymns of the Heretics, a Cult Divinity lost story. Um okay, so last time our uh our our oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm having like a brain my brain needs to catch up with the moment. Okay, so last time the entire crew finally got together. Um our protagonists were scattered throughout different throughout the different rings of concentric power and knowledge of the cult or I'm sorry, the church. And have now gathered in the home of James, our intrepid journalist. Uh, Before we get back into the action, into the fiction, everyone, you know, we considered this Sunday. It's a church day, and we all know that church is where the save point is. So let's do some character sheet updates. Um, on your sheets, um, you should be able to open up your sheet and look at the notes tab, and you should have some boxes where we are tracking advancement. So, for example, I'm looking at Cole's sheet. All of the sleeper advancement boxes are filled, and there's one box filled for where Cole received an advantage for the last advancement we did. As of now, you have three advancements possible. You can assign them to any of these empty boxes to raise one of your scores, one of your attributes, excuse me, or to gain additional advantages. So, for example, Cole has already assigned one tick to select a new advantage from his archetype, so he could only select that twice more. Otherwise, he is welcome to choose any of the other options. Uh, Remember that there's one that's like kind of lonely by itself. That's the one that allows for an attribute to be raised to four. You should be able to, on the right-hand side in the menu, you should be able to look at your advantages and select an additional advantage if you desire
Where
from
is that
your.
exactly? When
So
you
on the
say the
right hand,
right-hand side of your sheet or the...
no, no, I'm sorry,
Okay.
of the Foundry on the right like menu column,
Hmm.
there's different tabs: chat, combat, scenes, actors. You want items, and
Okay.
under items there's a couple of folders. There's an advantages folder,
Hmm.
and that has the different advantages that are organized by
Hmm.
like by the different attributes they use or the ones that do not use an attribute. Typically, they're considered to be passive if they do not use an attribute. Let me
I
get the.
I've got it.
Does everyone have their book or
Yes.
their version of the book?
So I'm all set, Shusha.
Okay. And then, so you can actually click on the edit button on the on under your notes tab. There's like a an edit button to the right, and you can like track your own ticks. So I don't need to like micromanage that like I have in the past, thanks to all of these great attributes being added to the cult
Jeez.
port or whatever module. Uh, does anybody need a link to the book? No. Okay. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, ideas,
I just
concerns?
wanted to let you know, I did the +1 to the active and the passive attribute, and then I did that single +4 to my charisma.
Cool beans.
So, Shisha, we have 3 points to use, so
Hmm.
we can essentially like have one increase one active attribute, increase one passive, and increase one max to 4. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Well, remember, and it won't jump it all the way from like 0 to 4.
right.
It only allows you to take it from 3 to 4.
Okay, okay. Just want to make sure.
Okay. Spooky silence. I know John is
Oh,
like,
I
what is
am
this?
a
What is
Nova.
this?
I am Hope. I am. I am Sandman.
Okay. You want to expand on that?
I took 3 points in Soul, so I can do dream stuff better.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I like about Dream. I feel like it's a very powerful ability, but if you fail the roll, there can be pretty gnarly
Huge.
consequences.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm meddling with something that could just write me out of existence, and that's fun.
And you are.
And that
Yes.
is true, the thing that you just said. So, yes.
And that's part of the fun of cults.
Yay. I can't wait to not be existing anymore. Or roll so good I become the dream. Oh, crazy.
Or you could still exist, but just in the void.
Or maybe that's how the creepy blood torture man became what it is.
Could be.
Person, thing, whatever. I don't know what it was. I'm still scared of its laugh. Ah!
Can I get a I'm done from anybody for folks that are done?
I'm finished. Yep.
Done as
Okay,
well.
that's two. Seems like Kimmy was done.
Done.
Okay. Seemed like Cody was done.
Done.
All
Is
right, I'm
Robin
just gonna.
with us?
Oh,
Okay. Hi, Robin.
yeah, I'm here. I just haven't. I'm with you guys in
Okay.
spirit.
Robin's very quiet.
Okay. Are you here only in spirit and not mentally?
Yes.
Okay.
Is
Fair,
anyone ever
fair.
mentally here?
I'm
Always.
typically not.
It depends on who you ask and when.
Zach, you still working on it?
I'm good.
Okay. Perfect. So here we are. In James's living room, comparing notes, realizing that the leadership of the church is hiding something. There are things outside of your control. There are things that are in your control that can easily go sideways. And there's a noise at the door. Marsha's name is called out. in a hoarse, gurgling voice. And the door begins to rattle. And you hear a scraping as whatever is outside is trying to get in.
Can I roll to observe a situation?
You absolutely can. Okay, partial success. Well done. You can ask one question.
What is being hidden from me?
Oh, you already know what's on the other side of this door. You've dealt with it several times now. In the waking world.
Yay.
Okay. Knowing that, I assume Josh is still armed. He's going to get up from. Are we all sitting around like a kitchen table or in the living room?
Living room coffee table, yeah.
Okay. He's going to place himself between the group and the door, pull out his arm, and say, "Everyone out the back now." And
So
start,
wait,
directing them
I'm
that
gonna
way.
hold a beat. I'm gonna say you say that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna honor your partial success. Another thing that you can hear, and you can decide if you want where we put this in the order. Maybe you might want to decide not to say that.
Okay.
You can also hear noise coming from the back door, which you know is broken.
Hmm. There's no basements in Texas, right?
We don't have one.
Fuck no.
Oh man, you're garbage state.
Whoa, just because we don't have. Well, okay, I know it's not just because we don't have basements.
There are a multitude of
Read the
reasons.
number
That's not the
9,000
one
not to
that
go to
I'm
Texas.
primarily upset
No
about,
basement.
but it's
Barricade
on the
the
fucking
doors.
list.
Barricade the doors.
Yeah.
Got another one of those firearms?
So let's talk about layout of the house for a minute.
Mhm.
Does the front door enter into the living room, or is there a different space
Foyer.
at the front door? There's a foyer, and then the back door enters into like a kitchen.
So the way I imagine it, it's going to go foyer. Hallway to the right goes to 2 bedrooms.
Yep.
Hallway on the left goes to like a laundry area and also a garage like door.
Okay.
And then like when you go out of the foyer, there's a kind of arch portal kind of thing that leads into the dining room, and the living room is off to one side, and the kitchen and the like a nook are on another side, and then the kitchen would have where the back door is located. So that's where that would be. So it would be kind of not behind us, it would be kind of over there, and then the front door would be kind of to our side. Does that make sense?
Then our best bet is probably to stay in this room. So instead of instructing that, Josh is going to start like moving furniture to block off one of the entrances to create a single choke point and get ready to fight, and start directing other people to like, all right, let's barricade this one spot off and then get ready to move them through this door. So they come in through the one entrance of the living room.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would kind of move to the other side of the room, and I'd brandish my revolver, I guess. Since
Rhea starts freaking out a little bit because she has no idea why everyone's getting so worked up. She's kind of like, what's that thing? You guys expecting someone?
Remember them creatures we've been telling you about? You're about to
Yeah.
see one.
You didn't believe it before. Let's wait.
Oh, okay.
You armed?
Hard evidence, unfortunately.
Looks at Willow and Freya. I guess, and Cole.
And Cole's been through the shit.
Yeah, but did you bring a weapon?
We've seen it.
Did I bring a weapon?
You armed? He like looks at everyone else like he's
No.
got a gun. He saw the revolver on James. Like who else has a fucking
No,
weapon?
definitely
Because he's
not,
got
no.
a like sidearm, and that's it on him. I bet the rest is in the truck because he wouldn't have walked past the cops with a long rifle. And we lost the shotgun to the next lucky kid who finds it on the side of the road.
Shisha
Yeah,
could
Willow would walk around armed.
Like 7-year-old me finds it on the side of the road.
Right?
Nice.
Changes your life.
Could Cole look around the room for an improvised weapon option?
Yeah, absolutely. James, what kind of stuff do you have in that room that we could bludgeon a monster with?
A cane.
So there's
A typewriter. Sorry.
A typewriter.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's
so
in the
James
foyer
does
now.
feel like the kind of guy who has a typewriter at his fucking desk, though.
there
He
is-
does. It's his
A
grandfather's.
walking
Anyway, I'm so
stick, a
sorry.
cane,
I
an
would
umbrella.
I
Fire
would
poker.
say that there would be no fire poker. It's Texas. There's probably not a fire
We have
place.
we do have fireplaces.
In this house, there's probably not one.
Okay. Okay.
It was probably like an older style, like what were those stoves called?
A wood stove?
Yeah, like a wood stove kind of thing that was done. But I would say there would probably be like a heavy like lamp, like made out of sterling silver. That sounds pretty tacky. Let's see. There's probably a baseball bat somewhere around the
Good enough. Baseball bat
living
it
room.
is.
Okay.
And lamp for me.
And then the kitchen is jack full of knives.
Well, at that, then Josh pulls out his combat knife, flips it, and hands it, or like handle first to Freya to see if Freya wants at least the combat knife. That's what he's got to offer.
I think James is one of those guys who tries to fill the void of like his pointless existence with like the neatest things of like cutlery and the like. So he probably like bought into some salesman, like vector marketing, Kult Co. kind of deal. So there's probably some really sharp blades in the kitchen. And then for Josh, I would say, like looking at the pistol that he has, it's a Type 26 revolver, so it's like an old World War II like officer's pistol, and it looks like it's in pretty good condition. It looks like it's been maintained pretty well, but it doesn't look like it's been maintained in a while. So it looks like it'll probably fire, but it definitely doesn't look like it's a gun owner, like a person who, like
Like you're not taking it to the
Yeah.
range to test it out.
yeah, and just to be sure, the Type 26 is a Japanese pistol, so it was something that was kind of brought home by an ancestor of James.
And the ancestral weeb.
Yeah.
Okay. So James brandishing a pistol, points out cutlery. Josh is pulls out his arm, hands the combat knife to Freya. Freya, how do you react?
Freya's freaking out a little bit. What's everyone doing? It's probably just someone from the church, like knowing
And if
that's
it
probably not
is,
true.
you won't need to use this. But it's better you have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
She just kind of shakes a little bit and takes it shakily and like
I
holds it out
appreciate
really
that.
far so she doesn't cut herself.
Shouldn't have
She's-
to use it, but if I go down, now you've got that. And he
Wait,
like
if you
gets
go
ready
down-
towards the door. He's ready for the fight now. He's gonna crouch low near the entrance so he can try
Okay.
and like grab and pop a couple shots at point blank before the thing like gets past the doorway.
Okay, beat. Marsha, what are you doing?
I'm grabbing a pillow from a couch,
Adorable.
and she's probably gonna back it to the furthest wall away and like start saying those prayers that Naeli.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
Well-
I love that.
That is a good call. Let's see, Marsha.
Did Did Cole learn any of those prayers when he talked to Nayeli, or not really?
No.
Okay.
Um,
He didn't have the chance yet, right?
Yeah, I guess not.
um, Marcia, go ahead as you start to utter those prayers. Many of the words in languages that you do not comprehend. Go ahead and roll to see through the illusion.
Oh, partial success.
Okay. So you are able to kind of instinctively know that there is a protect, like what you're uttering will protect you in some way against these things, but you hear from the back door, "Oh, Marsha, I don't think that's gonna save you." And the door slams
Oh
open.
no, this is so good.
This kind of big, bulbous, amorphous, blobby body, skin like raw chicken skin, bumpy and sallow. Um, it's black, kind of formless eyes just sort of embedded into its form, a massive, toothy, um, gaping, drooling mouth, and long, thin, uh, kind of spindly appendages. It's kicked the door in. Um, Josh, you were preparing to kind of ambush it as it came in, right?
Yep, that
All
was the
right,
plan.
make a roll.
Is that engage in combat?
Sure is.
Do I get a plus to
Yeah,
this
you get a
roll
plus
for?
one thanks to your observation.
Part of my growth was I took instinct, which
Cool.
is a passive ability that actually gives me a +2 whenever I act on observation rolls instead of
Stack
a
it up.
+1.
Stack it up.
So
+2.
yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Success.
You blow a massive hole in its bulbous body. Um, it's kind of um did we ever talk about what it's like what its innards are like, or what its blood is like? I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so,
so.
right?
I
We haven't
don't
made
think
that.
so.
Okay, so this like goo, the texture of like lemon curd, just sprays all over the ceiling in James's kitchen close to the back door. Um, the thing kind of wobbles, topples, it lets out this kind of like disgusting gurgling shriek, and you hear the other one come like smashing through the front door and galloping towards towards the towards all of you. Real quick, go ahead and roll to avoid harm, Josh, as the thing tries to kick you with one of its gross appendages.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you do
Ooh.
fail. Um, and go ahead and roll to endure injury as it hits you with its leg, and you're going to be taking one harm. Okay, so it hurts, it kind of like its leg, which feels like this long tube of bone,
Mhm.
just kind of like hits you on the side. Maybe um wins you a little bit, but you're okay. So beat the other thing is coming down the hallway. What is everyone else doing?
Well, I was gonna
Okay.
ask. So I think James is kind of in a weird cognitive state, because this is the first time I've seen
Yes.
that in real life. Like I've
Right.
seen some things similar, but
Yes.
this is the first time we've gotten it clicked into real life. And also,
Uh-huh.
there was this kind of awareness, or this kind of like almost an arrogance, really coming from
Mhm.
James towards
Mm.
Freya when it was like, "You're going to see it. You're going to see it." And I think like he's probably in this state of kind of watching her. And so I kind of
Mhm.
want to roll a keep it together because like I think there's two things that are kind of weighing on him at current. It is real, and this is like the
Mhm.
first shock of that. And
Yeah.
also, what have I done? I actually put my cousin into a situation where
Aw.
she is in.
Well,
Oh.
let's say this, John. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up. Everyone that has not seen one of these things in face to face before should now roll to keep it together.
Okay.
And when you say one of these things, what does that mean exactly?
You've never seen one of
this particular. Okay.
this creature if you haven't like seen it.
Mhm.
So I
It's
guess
just
everyone
you
but
me.
Josh and Marsha.
Marsha,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I got a partial.
Okay. So we'll start with Freya. Freya, you have a partial success. Go ahead and take a you can choose one. So you can either take stability damage or you can become distracted. But I kind of just prefer to do the stability damage. I feel like that's
Yeah, I
just
feel like she's gonna be terrified. Like that's just
Yeah.
the natural reaction.
Okay, go ahead and take your one stability damage. James, partial success. It's fucking terrifying, and you feel guilty too.
I think that the guilt would
Mhm.
be overridden in the moment
Mm.
because Josh is obviously here to protect, and I think my
Mm.
brain would snap here. I think I'm going to
Mhm.
go with angry, still stability damage, but I think my
okay.
next action is to. And I'm sorry, Zach, already. I am going to, as a non-combat person,
Mhm.
try and throw myself into this fight.
Okay.
Good luck, bud.
I'm also
Godspeed.
Nice knowing you.
and I just jumped into anxious as well for stability. So
Yay! Okay, cool.
So Cole
Do
is
you want to
seeing
try
some
rolling
weird.
a help or hinder for my next attack? Do you think?
I've got
Hold
a,
on.
No, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hold
We'll
on.
go through the rest of them.
Yeah, cool.
So Cole's seen some really weird shit. I'm wondering if we could do "You Will Be Haunted by the Experience" at a later time.
I don't love that one because it makes me have to track something, and I don't want to do that.
That's fine. I'll take
Okay.
one more stability damage, so I'm gonna move
Okay.
from anxious to irrational.
Yes. Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
You're going down Luther Lane right now.
Luther Lane.
You're
Yes.
just one car ahead of me in this race, and
Oh my God.
I'm not loving that.
Why did that
But-
make me so happy?
It did not make me happy. Okay.
So good.
You know why?
Okay. Oh, Willow.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Nice
So,
knowing you.
Willow, you know, you've seen a lot of weird shit. And oh wait, Cole. So the other thing is you have seen a lot of weird shit. Sometimes having it stack is almost is the problem. It's all stacking up.
Mm-hmm.
And the same goes for Willow. You could I'm not gonna take you to I won't force you to take two for stability. That is a little too extra for this moment.
Thank you.
But go ahead and take your 2 stability damage. Okay. Cole and James, did you take your damage?
Yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
on
Yes, you did. Okay. And Marsha and Josh have already seen the thing. Okay, so now let's go back. We've got one galloping in from the back. James, you are angry. You are, your stability is dwindling. You decide to engage with the
So,
creature
I
in some
think,
way.
like in the split, like there's
Uh-huh.
there's
Yeah.
the boom, shotgun blast kills the thing. Then the other one slams through the front door and kind of barrages Josh from behind.
It's not dead.
Well, it looks like it's got a.
It
big
looks
wound.
killed. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Again, James is
Yeah.
not good
Okay.
with normal death. He's definitely
All
not
right.
good with supernatural death. So he would probably yell something like "Stay back, Freya!" and rush forward to try and engage the one that's behind
Got it.
Josh that attacked him from behind, and just try and shoot it up close and personal, like at an angle that doesn't include Josh.
So let me make this scene clear. The thing that attacked Josh is the thing he hit.
Oh wait, what? So I thought that there was two. So one.
There
can...
are two. The one that he shot and its goo went flying, it is still moving and it
Oh.
hit and it kicked him.
Okay,
And there is another one running towards you all.
misrepresented. So I'm misinterpreted on my part. I thought
Yeah,
that
no worries.
it got shot and then the other one came in from behind. Okay,
Nope.
so then I'm gonna try and stop that one from
Okay.
Eiffel Towering Josh. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot at that one and try and back to back with Josh. So what do I need
Okay.
to roll?
Roll to engage in combat.
Cool. Yay!
That is a full failure. What do you what is like the last thing that you do before we figure out what goes awry?
So
Do you actually get your shot off?
I mean, I already kind of prefaced the gun is kind of not like
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to play with that, you can.
Yeah.
There's I would say because I said I went back to back with Josh, like I'm kind of shooting at the entryway, so I couldn't actually shoot anybody else. So I'd say like
Yeah, I
maybe
don't
the
think
gun
so.
blowing up in my face or something like that would be fine.
Well, let's just say that you pull the trigger and like it's jammed.
Got it.
And go ahead and roll to avoid harm to harm as it tries to bowl you over. So go ahead and you avoid the worst of it. So go ahead and roll endure injury, one harm.
partial success.
Okay, so it like raises up its gross appendage and kicks you in the chest, and you fall backwards, kind of bumping into Josh, and you are now prone on your
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Who else?
And I took one harm, right?
That doesn't mean anything in terms of
Okay.
like wounds or whatever. We just put that in
Got it.
to calculate your roll.
I have yet to be beaten up, so this is a first for me. Sorry.
I'd like to take a swing while the one's distracted by just absolutely bowling over James.
Okay, go ahead and roll to engage in combat.
All right. I can actually find out where that is.
No.
Nope.
This is great. This is
Guy's not
this is
doing
good.
too good.
This is good.
Cole would like to do a thing.
The professor, and the journalist.
You're
Okay,
right.
so Willow, you swing and
Just
like
bash
it's,
Josh in the head with the back.
well, I would say like it's like oh, let's say this. Oh, well, you can pay a I should have done this for James too, but I didn't. Okay, well, we'll do this now. Willow, maybe you pay a prize to do any harm to this thing. Would you pay a price?
I'll pay the price just so we have an idea of what it is. We can decide later if we want to or not. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll pay the price.
So I'm gonna say that you swing at its bulbous body and you hit. And there's this like ripple and it's like gross, sallow, rubbery skin, and it begins to like tear and split. And from where it's split, you are like entirely doused in this like stinking custardy pale yellow
Might have to be
goo.
custardy.
Ugh, so
Yum.
gross.
So go ahead and roll to keep it together.
It's like being doused in tapioca pudding.
Go ahead and take
Yes.
2 more emotional damage, or I'm sorry,
Excellent.
stability damage. Where are you at now?
I'm anxious.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's fair. I mean, that is fair. Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, Cole would like to do a thing.
Okay.
So he's not going to try to engage in combat,
Okay.
but he's going to sort of get in front of Marcia because Marcia is wielding a pillow, right? And
Yeah.
he's going to try to copy the prayer that she said.
Okay. Okay.
And I just wanted to remind you that I don't know if I know I don't have control over it, but my new advantage is called inner power.
mm,
And it says that hold on. It says you
Can
harbor a mysterious power which you do not fully understand. The power can protect you, but you have no control over it.
ooh, I love that.
So he's going to start trying to say the prayer, and he's going to sort of get close to Marcia, maybe to like get some of her vibes or something.
I love this. So actually with this, you feel Cole, inside of yourself, what could only be described as the um it can only be described as the movement of the Holy Spirit.
Whoa.
Suddenly you feel that inspiration, that internal, because you're irrational, that internal like cosmic love of Christ, and you know that in this moment you are protected, you are defended, because you are what? Bathed in his blood, honey. And so you go ahead and wait, does it oh man. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna allow you to, when you roll an advantage, does it ask you if you can add a modifier or no? You
Let's
can do a
find out.
situational modifier. Oh shit.
So I
Okay.
could add the
Wait.
modifier to that.
Yeah, so Marsha, I'm gonna go ahead and allow you right now. Marsha, you see in Cole something that you have seen before. You have seen this like sizzling celestial glow before when an old lady named Ethel suddenly blazed up with divine energy. And
Hell
you,
yeah.
so go ahead, Marsha, and you can roll to help or hinder using your soul to see if you can using uh the divine language of the angels and start speaking in tongues. Oh, unfortunately, you fail. And your memory, right now you're scared, everything is chaotic, you're missing syllables in some of these complicated chants. Cole, you're actually going to take a penalty of 2, but you're still up at a partial success. So, the power attacks your closest opponent, causing 2 harm. Beautiful. So, you are closest to the one that, uh, who would you say
Right,
you? Uh-huh.
I thought it came through the back door looking for Marsh, like towards
hmm
Marcia.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and that was the one that got shot. So it would be that one, I believe, right?
yeah. So they're kind of like triangulating upon Marsha.
Hmm.
So let's just say it's that one, the one that came
Okay.
in first through the back door. So, do you have an idea of what this power would look like, or do we want to just go? It's kind of like what Ethel did, or do you have a flavor for it?
Yeah, I'm sure I could have a flavor. Let's say that it's like a silver and gold kind of light, almost like sparkles that come out.
Yeah. So all of you see little skeptical Cole um suddenly light up with divine light, and you see it blaze around the 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 creature that is attacking Joshua. It uh, it's almost burned to a crisp. It's, kind of like sallow skin, charred and um kind of crisped by the fiery divine aura of Cole. Um, but it's and so it's kind of like on the ground, it's still kind of crawling around.
Hmm.
It's not, it doesn't seem to be a danger to anybody in this exact moment, but it is not dead yet.
So then Cole would sort of slump back a little bit, almost like into Marcia, um, as I guess that probably took a lot out of him.
Okay.
Thank goodness
Uh,
she had a pillow.
Good. So she has a pillow, right? Catch
okay,
me.
Marsha, do you catch Cole?
Yeah, I probably do because I'm up against the wall.
Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
now I see him as like Ethel, like,
Mhm.
and probably
Uh,
just fall
mhm.
down on the ground.
Okay. And how about Freya? Anything for Freya?
Uh, actually, can Freya roll keep it together again? Because she's really fucking confused by all this. She hasn't seen Ethel. She hasn't seen any
I
of
think,
this
yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, let's see how Freya survives. How her stability survives. Okay. So you see Cole uh light up the creature in a blaze, in this like celestial blaze, and you probably lose some stability as that
Well,
happens.
well, I was gonna say maybe
John,
that
yeah.
you because she's obsessive, maybe that you become obsessed. +1 relation to
You know
whatever
what?
this.
That is a good question. I mean, that's a good point. You can actually avoid your stability loss, and we
Okay,
can tie you to Cole, and you start to become obsessed with Cole.
works for me.
That is going to be weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
I'm sure Jenny's going to love
Jenny,
that.
no.
Okay. So, let's go back to Josh, the creature that was kind of like trying to stomp you out is now kind of reduced to this um it's like crawling along on the floor. It's has mostly deflated. A lot of its like internal goo that gave it its structure has seeped out. So, what do you do?
I imagine that was half the clip
Okay.
because this is not his first
You
rodeo.
know, I know nothing about guns. You could literally tell me anything. I'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Of course. And then that's when you turned on the laser pointer sight that auto and the no. um,
The self-tracking
so if
bullets.
that one's kind of down,
hmm
what's the other one? I know people have been attacking that one, but looks down the hallway, what do I see?
That one has been hit once and it looks damaged. It looks like it's losing some structural integrity, but it's still on its feet.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna see if I can drop that one with the other half of the clip.
Okay, go ahead and roll to engage in combat. Partial success. Yeah. So, um, you were already planning to expend all your ammo, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that could be all I had in the clip. The rest of my clips could be in the truck.
All right, so we're gonna say that you have reduced it to like its last. Okay, well, we'll say this. It's on the ground. It's you were able to damage like the connective tissue between its blob and its leg, and so with one leg fully like removed, it falls over. It's still alive. It's growling. It's gurgling. It's going, Marsha, Marsha, return to Snook Church, Marsha.
And I want to shoot it. I want to shoot it.
Roll to engage in combat.
Yeah,
With
but I'm lying
with
on the
your
ground.
with your
Again.
jammed pistol.
Yeah, so I was gonna say like he kind of thinks back to when his dad was teaching him about guns
Mhm.
and he wasn't paying attention, and so he'll kind of spin the wheel of the revolver a
Okay.
bit to loosen it, and then point it like while lying on the ground at the
Mhm.
thing, and then shoot. And so it's engaging combat.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay!
So we're gonna say that you are able to put it out of its misery. Um, you hit the eye, and the eye explodes and showers you in black goo. Go ahead and roll to keep it together.
Yep. Nope. More stability damage.
Take 2 stability damage.
I'm unhinged.
Yes! Okay.
Perfect.
We made it.
Oh man, I won't be satisfied until someone gets still broken.
I am
Okay.
one away.
So, it's kind of like you're getting close to that last straw, James. Your house has become this like butchery of these, disgusting creatures. Um, and to just add insult to injury, you are coated in this like weird inky goop that smells like corpse. Okay. There's the other one is still alive. It doesn't, or it's still active. It doesn't seem to be saying anything other than gurgling. What
For
would
the one
you all
that's
like to
still
do?
alive,
Hmm.
can Freya just throw her knife at it?
Yeah,
Oh
roll to
God.
engage in combat. Let's see what happens.
Like she's just doesn't know what else to do. So let's see how well this goes.
Yes.
Freya,
She's got a
Yes.
taste for murder, folks.
like a fucking Marine, like a fucking combat trained commando, hurls the knife at it, hitting it squarely between the eyes. It just slides right into its like kind of cooked exterior, and it deflates and is.
Why are all of Robin's characters so good at killing?
uh, well, at least this one is not going to take all the corpses and turn them into a collage. So,
Yeah, I think
oh,
True,
that
that's
was
true.
that was from the other.
I think
Yeah.
that's the unhinged though for James, like watching that have to happen, and like also the first time he's ever killed a living thing, being like point blank to the eye. Like yeah, I understand the unhinged position a lot. Like he's probably trying to get himself up and is like visibly shaking.
He's been through a lot in a very short time.
Yeah, just want to get to sleep, but I know that that's a bad idea too.
Can
Yeah,
I try a thing?
yeah.
I don't know how we want to play this because by name it sounds a little questionable. Um, but I want to try to use my seducer advantage on James.
Ugh.
Not because I want to seduce him, but because if I succeed, I can restore +2 stability. So I just want to be like, hey man, like it's cool. You're good. I'm not trying to
Well,
have sex with you.
okay. I mean, I'm okay with this, but we got to play it right. So, like going, hey man, you good? You're good. I don't know. I don't buy that. But if you can
Right, right.
if you can like blah blah blah. If you can work,
Phrase how they seduce them in a platonic way.
yeah. If you
Right.
can work him, let's see it.
All right.
Phrasing?
Phrasing.
What?
I'm
Work
gonna
him?
put on my
Well,
sexy, non-sexy
okay.
eyes.
Phrasing.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's
So,
okay.
I was
After
thinking like
everything-
scam.
Take that
Anyway, go ahead,
popcorn.
Cody.
Here
No,
we
I
go.
understand.
So after the last dude deflates and probably puddles on James' floor, which I'm sure James is super happy about, I just want to like gently set down his lamp and like I didn't do anything with it anyway, so it's fine. It's not damaged. Um, and I'll go up to James to say like, "Hey man, like I'm sorry that this happened here. Like I'm sure that this is a lot on top of losing the office and everything else. This is probably a huge invasion of your space. I'm sorry this happened here." And
Before James responds, roll your ability.
Yeah, because like my response.
Partial success.
Sir.
So you have two options. You can
Can you use the same one
oh
uh
wait,
twice?
is that the right one?
use your +2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the +2.
So we can use that now. Hold on, James. And then we can save another one. Which one do you want to pick that we're going to save?
Well, against PCs. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
It
yeah,
does-
the other one he could save for something
I was
else.
gonna say, can you do the same one twice? Sorry, that I wasn't trying to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because holy shit.
No, 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 no. No, I'm not okay with that.
All right, I. Totally,
That's fair. Okay. So yeah, we'll do the +2 for James now, and then if I have to win somebody over, I'll pull the second one out another time.
Okay, cool. So, James, we won't say necessarily that you feel happy with Willow, but something in the way that they attempt to comfort you clicks. Somehow, you can't explain it, but you feel better. You're able to heal to stability.
Yeah, I am anxious again.
Okay. That's better than
Unhinged, you bet.
unhinged.
Right.
So we see James like on the verge, probably pallid, shaking. Willow wags that silver tongue, and suddenly James is not on the edge, but still looking pretty visibly anxious, nervous. Um,
And I just pat him on the head and go away.
okay. Okay, that's sick. All
I
right.
take the civility damage again.
That's where we draw the line.
I just go right back to unhinged. You know what? I'm gonna
Could have done a shoulder squeeze.
Go ahead,
Nope.
GM.
Could have
Make a
done
move.
anything.
Make a move.
Nope.
I'm going
Okay.
unhinged.
So, here we are. What are we doing?
Josh will move to get his knife back.
It
Oh.
as you pull it out.
Yeah. I imagine he like wipes it on his pants and then like sheaths it again. Looks back at Freya. That was mighty impressive. You do this before?
What the fuck was that thing? What just happened? Why did he get all glowy? What I don't understand.
Well, that's actually a great question. Why did he
Yeah.
get all glowy? James would say as he's like opening the revolver, pulling out the one spent casing, dropping it on the floor,
I glowed up.
walking over to his desk, and
Was that in character?
No.
Cole says, I glowed up.
Does Cole respond to the inquiries?
Cole would say, I'm not entirely sure.
Would you share the feeling that you got?
Yes.
How would you describe it?
He would say, I felt for a moment I was in touch with the divine.
this is wild. He says as he pulls out an old, like, it's like one of those faded kind of cardboard boxes filled with like loose ammunition. Pulls out a, shell, puts it back into the pistol. Kind of looks over at Josh and then at Cole, and then at Freya and everybody, and says, "It's like back in college. Like I would hang out with friends and play Dungeons and Dragons. We've got a cleric, gestures at Cole. We've got a rogue, gestures at Freya. We got a fighter, gestures at Cole.
Ah,
What the
Josh,
hell?
yeah.
This is wild.
Got a bar, gestures at Willow.
Yikes.
Because seducer? Come
Yeah.
on. Bards get a bad rap.
They know what they did.
They know what they did.
Yeah.
They know who they did.
They know who they did.
Not all of them.
Modify memory.
Not going to talk about my other advantage and all my secret relationships or anything.
Fair.
Oh God.
That's a very important and powerful ability you seem to have there, Cole.
Yeah.
This is the first time you've seen it?
Well, yeah, I haven't done this before, but I feel like somehow been connected to something that's going on. What was the lady's name that spoke to me again?
Oh, Nayeli?
Yeah, Nayeli said as much.
And is this the first time we've seen something like this at all? Looking to Josh. I mean, like, two of them? Because you said you've seen them before, but I don't remember you ever saying there were multiples. Josh.
Josh and Marsha lost to the void.
Sorry, say that again?
So James asks, have we ever seen anything like this? And kind of just after talking to Cole, but then kind of like clarifies, like multiples of these things. Like from what you were saying, there was just one at a time. Didn't sound like there was ever more than one.
Not that came after us, but I mean, if one doesn't work, I'd send two. And now two didn't work. So I'd
Yeah.
expect four next time.
Yeah, that makes sense. And everybody heard that what they said, right? That wasn't the only
Marcia and something.
old church.
You're
Tell
right.
us, yeah, what is it about this church, Marsha?
Whole gang turns to look at Marcia.
Right.
Holding
Cole, who's holding a pillow?
Holding a
Seated
pillow.
seated on the floor.
The world may never know.
It's just the church I grew up in. There's nothing special. I don't.
Well, obviously that's not true. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but if there was nothing special as you claim, what do we want to call these things? Kind of looks at the one laying in the kitchen slash dining room area that's burnt slash shot. I mean,
They're like gray-ish blobs. So
Yeah.
grobs.
Grob. I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, I guess we can stick with it for now until something else comes up better, or maybe the real.
We could workshop it.
Yeah, we workshop it, but we got to refer to them as something.
What are we wood shopping?
Workshop. It's a term in wordsmithing. So when people are writing, crafting, like an idea, they workshop it. It's similar to what you do with wood shopping, just for vernacular.
I don't know if you're
Lords.
trying to be condescending,
Lords.
but Josh does not recognize if you are or
No,
not.
no,
He's
no,
just
no, no, no.
smiling and nodding and like legitimately listening.
No, he's not trying to be condescending. He was
Okay.
just trying to. He was trying to explain because the thing about James is it's very interesting. Like he is a person who is in like a position that like would lend itself to being an arrogant, educated asshole. But the problem is he's like very down to earth because he lives in a small town. So he is educated,
Yeah.
and like he realizes that, but he also realizes that you're not, and so he's saying like, yeah, it's like it's like woodworking, except that it's with words. We're just whittling down like what we wanted to say.
So I want to point out the irony is like even though James does not want to come off as arrogant,
Oh, he might.
it does ping that way, and he doesn't know it, and also Josh also doesn't know it.
Yes.
But others
Everyone else.
Totally
might
know
be
it.
able. Other people are looking at this exchange like kind of grinding their teeth a little bit.
All while
So
James and Josh are like high fiving or like just being cool
Yeah.
best friends.
Legitimate learning moment for Josh.
I don't care what we call them. I just don't want to ever see them again.
Well,
Says
since
Cole.
that's
These
not
night horrors.
that's not bad either. Have we seen them during the day? We haven't, have we?
yep.
Mhm.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you have, and you've talked
I
about how you
have.
have.
Yeah, I was
Ah.
asleep during that. Yeah, so
You were
okay,
asleep.
so probably not that. Okay, let's stick with Grobs. I like Grobs. Grobs is fine for now. So
Josh does a quiet little fist pump only to himself.
when these Grobs are attacked, have they always been going after Marsha?
I mean, suppose Marsha is a connecting factor.
Sure. And did they mention the church before? What was the name of it? Did anybody else catch it? I was my ears were ringing from the gunshots.
Looks at Marsha. I haven't made it through every encounter. How you like conscious? So
James actually laughs at that. It's good of you to admit. So Marsha, what's the name of your church? The old one?
Just Snook Baptist Church.
How far away is that, Marcia?
That's what I was about to ask. Good question, Cole.
So actually, I want to like map it out in Google Maps.
Because
Take just a beat.
maybe we should visit that church, Marcia.
Yikes.
Well, Cole, I see your logic.
2 hours.
2 hours. That's not bad.
I do want to make sure you're aware of something that you might not be considering. The church or someone who is very interested in making sure Marsha returns to that church is sending these grobs out after her. So who's to know what would happen if she were to return to that church?
Well, we don't have to bring her.
That's a good point. So yeah, I would highly suggest that she be, if she were to go, protected and preferably not go at all.
Marsha, you have people that belong to your newfound faith, your new church family, your new community. Suddenly, talking about a place that you fled. How do you respond?
I mean, she internally, she's like, no, no, I don't want these people to go. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't control what others do. So if they
You can
want
make suggestions.
Yeah, do you say out loud you don't want us to go?
Why did you leave that church, Marcia?
personal, it's
You got any idea as to why they might want you back so bad?
I'm sure they don't. So I don't know why.
Well,
Could
all
I? Is it? Could we don't do PvP, right? I could read a person, read Marsha.
Yeah, so anybody that's interested in reading Marcia, you can use the read a person. Um,
I was
we
just
can
And I
treat it.
get enhanced awareness. That thing gives me a bonus for that, maybe?
No, enhanced awareness is related to the supernatural.
I was just gonna
Okay.
follow
How
up with
about
her.
intuitive?
Intuitive is related to something.
All right, hold on. I'll look.
I wanted to follow up with her statement regarding it's personal and that being kind of a cloistered like defense mechanism.
You get an additional question when you succeed in reading someone. Okay.
Okay, so let's take a beat. So Marcia, okay, let's take a beat. First, Marcia, you say it's personal, then James has a follow-up question.
Yeah, I would say that's fair that it's personal, Marcia, but I gesture to the corpse on my dining room floor, and I say, but it's certainly affecting me now too. So
You've got pudding on your ceiling.
if you don't mind, maybe just something, help me out here with something that might be able to help me understand what's going on here, so we can try and
O-
work through this together.
Okay, beat. Marcia, do you respond to that with anything other than no, I don't want to talk about it.
She wouldn't say what exactly, but more like the church started to ostracize me for things outside my control. None of it was supernatural. It was all personal happenings, nothing that had to do with God.
Okay, now everyone go ahead and roll. Not everyone. If anybody is trying to like read her body language or determine her motivations, is welcome to read a person. Or you can take it at face value.
Yeah,
Nope.
I think James is not like in a state of mind to be super inquisitive and is more
Okay.
just kind of upset by her reply.
So, Cole,
She knows that I'm trying to do this.
yeah, Marcia, you look at Cole and he is giving you a very suspicious look. Um, uh, I mean, I don't know that is a surprise to you. So, Willow, and Josh, you each get a partial. Freya, you get the best success. Let's start with you.
Okay.
Um, so you can ask a couple of questions, and because this is with a PC, we'll see how that will look.
She's gonna be flat out like, "Are you lying? Like this doesn't add up."
Oh,
So, Freya, you get the idea that like there's probably more to the story, right? As there are to any story that can't be summed up in, 2 or 3 sentences, but you don't get the idea that Marsha is lying about the supernatural part back home.
Okay. Um, how could I get you to tell me more or to elaborate?
So we're gonna do this above the table, and it's
Hmm.
gonna be like player to player, and then we can see how we want to play it out in the game. Marsha, over the table, not in character. What do you think it would take for Marsha to really open up to Freya and tell her whole story?
maybe 1-to-1. Like being cornered like this, being asked in front of like
Hmm.
all these faces. And
And
it would be easier to
mm,
tell Freya because she's another woman versus
all these gross men
Mhm.
and uh
Willow.
and Willow.
Another thing in the
It was
corner
just
there,
it
yeah.
was just a little gross,
The seducer.
half gross. Okay. Uh,
I think they're great.
Freya, you like clock that. You're clocking that this is you have like the brief like, oh yeah, we choose the bear kind of moment.
Mm-hmm.
and you clock it. So you, as Freya, can react. You know that it would probably be easier to get into it if you two were alone. So you can react as you like.
She's gonna back off a little bit. She realizes that this is a lot. Like everyone's kind of coming at her, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's trying to get more information. So she's just gonna like nod a little bit and be like, all right, I appreciate you being honest with us.
We'll take a beat. Willow and Josh, both of you glean. I, you can ask a question, but let's just say that you glean the same kind of like, okay, she's definitely not lying about there not being a supernatural element to it. That's all that you really can glean from your
So
attempt to read Marcia.
think Josh would have a different motivation with reading Marcia. Hear me
Okay,
out.
yeah, go ahead.
Because everyone else is trying to get more information out of her. And I think Josh is more concerned as the person who's known her the longest, how she's
Mm,
feeling right now. So I think instead of that, he not how she's feeling right now. That's not the question. I think what do you wish I would do is a better question for Josh to be asking of Marsha's
mm,
intent right now because he wants to help her feel less uncomfortable. It's obvious she's uncomfortable. You don't need a roll to tell that. But
yeah.
like what does she want me to do right now? Does she want me to just shut up, back off? Does she want me to try and intervene? Does she want me to ask the right questions to get her to feel more safe about opening up to this group? What does she want me to do right now? That's what I think Josh's read a person is about.
Marcia, you notice Josh giving you a look that you've seen many times when you are working together at Bucky's, like when a customer is getting rowdy, or when it's like almost time to close and someone is like knocking on the door trying to get you to unlock it, or like you've already closed and you're trying to, you know, balance out the till at the end of the night. That look that says, "What's it gonna be, boss?" And um, you can respond above the table, but you can also respond to him directly because you kind of know what he's giving you.
I think above the table, the
Hmm.
thoughts Marsha's having is she just wants Josh to get her out of that house
Okay.
and either take her back to the compound or the church, wherever, someplace that could be safer.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't want to, this situation's too tough, or even for Josh to bring the attention onto himself and like maybe they'll stop asking questions.
Okay, well, I don't know. I think in character, Marcia, you can definitely give that like that eye movement that's like it's time to close up shop, hun. Like we got to wrap it up and head out.
Yep. So Josh will see the look that he's seen a million times, which is like, just come up here and say something and bail me out.
Hmm.
That I imagine that's the look that you've had to give like a million fucking sexist, problematic men who are just like, just come over here and get me out of this.
Hmm.
So with that look and Freya saying like, okay, that's fine. Like Josh will say, how about this? Why don't we get you, Freya, and maybe Willow back to the Youngs, and Cole and James and I will go look into this church more. I imagine as a investigative reporter, journalist type, you've got ways of finding out more information about these kinds of people.
You would see that like he's kind of turned away from the conversation after being upset by the response, and kind of turns back and goes, "Huh? Oh, yeah, I guess we could go. I don't really care." And he kind of walks towards the corpse. That was never his interest. He just was asking for her to answer out of character. So everybody else was reading her. I wasn't. And so
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
he'll kind of interestedly go over to the corpse of the thing and just start kind of perusing that while everyone else is figuring out what they're doing.
Okay. Um, So you are making plans, Josh, to head back, to take Marsha for sure back to the Youngs. Is anybody else like, yeah, yeah, let's go back to the Youngs?
I mean, do you think it's safer there? Like, these things seem pretty damn powerful.
They do, but they've got more protections there than we've got here.
It's probably better there, Freya, for you. Yeah. I don't think there's much I can do if
I
Belinda.
can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I guess let's go to the Youngs.
Yeah, I think Willow's pretty ready to go as well. I think we need a larger community around this for now, at least.
I'm gonna.
Cole?
I mean, I think I want to go check out that church, but if we need to go back first, that's fine.
James?
Yeah, Cole, remember you have a wife and daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just need some time.
Well, then how about you get me some time to bring these folks here back to the Youngs? I swing back around in my truck and maybe we'll go take a ride over to this here church.
I'm trying to think here, Josh, and I want to bounce some ideas off you real quick before you.
Oh, I might not be the guy to be doing the
You're
thinking.
the only guy who can be doing the thinking because it's directly related to you.
You want to get married? Oh, sorry,
You
go
remember
ahead.
last night in our dreams?
Sure.
Yeah, so then the very next day, you woke up, you said you had some problems with that. And I had some problems waking up too. And
Sure.
if it wasn't for you, those things wouldn't have shown up. Or were they coming for me because I already connected with you? Did they show up because you and Marsha showed up? Or were they already there for me? When you saw them, did it look like they were coming for you? Or did it look like they were coming for my house?
Um, Out of character, would Josh have recognized whether they were coming for Cole or like once he engaged, did they start to attack Josh because he was the thing attacking, or like were they still trying to get into the room towards the rest of them because that's where Marsha or James were? Is there anything from that last combat, more specifically, now that Josh is being asked about it, that he can try and pinpoint if, like, once they saw him, both of them were on him because he's been a focal point, or they were trying to get past him?
You can, so I will say that you can roll observe a situation to get an answer to it. So we can ignore the answers that it lists, and we'll just answer this question.
Can I ask a
Success.
favor too?
Yeah.
Since Marsha was there, can she also roll? I mean, he already got the success, but just in case there might have been a different angle from her perspective.
I mean,
If she wants-
I
if she
don't know if
wants to.
Marsha wants to cooperate with you necessarily.
No, just so
Marsha,
she
do you want to cooperate?
just so she knows. Like, she doesn't have to.
Well,
be in this combo.
what makes you think she doesn't know?
Oh shit! Okay, all right, gangster.
Okay,
Fuck, me and Josh are just on a.
so
song.
Josh,
Yeah.
you are able to kind of like triangulate, and you're thinking about the first time that it happened, the second time
Mhm.
that it happened, and then
Mhm.
tonight, and you are like, it's kind of like what is it? Beautiful mind or something. I don't know, where you're like creating diagrams in your mind, and there's
It's
like
more like The
lines and
Hangover where
angles.
they don't quite make sense.
Oh no. Okay. And they're like you have done such a great job observing. There's like this angle, and like Marsha is like at the at the corner of that angle.
So yeah, no, I think it's been Marsha they've been after.
Okay,
I just happened to be in the way almost every time.
well, you keep it up. I'm gonna go ahead and stay here for a while. I know where the Youngs are located. I'll head over that way. I need some time. I'll
Can I leave you with a number?
yeah, and I'll pull out my church phone.
Which Josh puts his number into and hands it back.
Cool. Um, I'm gonna take a drive into College Town, looking down at the corpse. I think the law enforcement there might be interested in this thing.
I mean, do you need help moving it into a vehicle?
Cole said that he was interested in sticking around. I can give Cole a ride back over to the Young's house unless Cole's got a ride. Do you already have a
Cole
car?
got here on his own, didn't he? He showed up after everyone, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, if you could
Yeah.
just help me
So he
move
took
this
his
into
own
my
car, yeah.
Buick, and then you can be out of here. Is that all right, Cole?
Sure.
Thanks, man. And Josh, thanks again. And thank you, Cole, too.
You want to give me a call after you talk to the cops?
Yeah,
Then he nods and starts walking out, like starting to lead the way towards his truck.
Okay, Josh heads to the truck. Marsha, do you follow suit?
Heck yeah.
And what about Freya and Willow? Are you two, because you two also drove in, are you gonna head to your cars and head out, or is there anything else?
No, I think
Caravan.
Freya would head to her car.
Caravan?
Yeah, I'm getting out of here before somebody asks me to help clean up.
Good
Yes,
call.
honey.
Smart of them.
The putting off the ceiling.
We do not get our hands dirty. Okay. So, y'all caravan the fuck out. Meanwhile, Cole,
Mhm.
voluntold to help handle this disgusting thing and put it in the trunk of the car. Do y'all do that right away as soon as
yeah, and
folks start to head out?
So
during
I
the
would definitely want to like not touch things. So like, is there like a gloves I
com-
could wear
we
from
take
the
a comforter.
garage or something? You
We get a
know,
comforter out. We put it on top of it. We roll it into it. We
like
throw
that.
it
Yeah.
like a Tootsie Roll into the back of the trunk.
So as you are rolling it into the comforter, you notice that kind of like Jello, when it starts to get hot and warm, it's starting to kind of like get a little goopy, and it soaks the comforter in its juices.
Does it
So if
seem
you're gonna carry the comforter, I'm sorry, go ahead.
does it seem to be melting like the physical body or anything, or is it still like
It seems like the body itself, like the globular part is starting to kind of melt. And the kind of like bony exoskeleton leggy parts are not don't seem to be melting.
okay? As long as we got physical proof, that's the thing. Okay, so yeah,
Okay.
goopy as it may be, we're gonna roll it up on two sides and then it'll seep in the middle, chuck it into the back of the trunk.
Okay.
And during the first one, I'd like to say to Cole, they got everybody over there at the Youngs, huh? You and your family too.
Mm-hmm. Seems
These,
like it's the safest place to be at the moment.
I'd say that, but if these things are coming for Marsha, then you're basically just putting a bunch of people into a barrel. And if Josh is right, they do send more next time. Might take 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7 Joshes to deal with what's coming.
But there's people there that are armed, and they
Hey,
seem to have like.
hey, I'm not saying that you can't do it, and I'm hopeful for you. What I'm trying to say is that be mindful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Be mindful of why you're here. Sorry. TikTok brainworms. Go ahead.
you understand
There,
that you're going into a situation where that seems to be the main threat, right?
yeah, but it also seems to be the main source of power to maybe help. It's
Yeah,
not the it's not the firepower that I think is going to win the day here, but
yeah.
it's going to be something else that seems to be there,
I
that I seem to be connected to, so I need to be there.
I'm hopeful that we can add something to that with my plan. And I know the church is going to be mad as hell for me taking this course of action, but I got proof that this is happening. This is you can't argue with that, right?
I mean, sure, but what do you think is going to, what do you think the reaction is going to be?
They've got to do something,
Okay.
I'm
and
sure the cops will do the right thing.
most
Yeah.
most folks aren't terribly keen on things that are different,
I
and
mean,
that
I
certainly
think
is.
I think you might be getting yourself into more trouble than than you know
So what do you
by
suggest?
I don't know if this is the kind of thing you go to the authorities with. Um, Imagine the church isn't big on the authorities in general.
Yeah, she got, re-
Cole anarcho communist confirmed.
but that being said, you you understand why I want to do it, right?
Listen,
There's a truth that's present here, and it's being withheld from everyone.
mm-hmm, but you have to ask the question is what's the best course of action here? Um, I think that we both kind of understand that there's something maybe not right with the church leadership. I feel you feel like you've been wronged.
Right.
And I know that Willow and I feel like they're definitely hiding some big stuff. But, but wait, but there also seems to be those inside who are trying to do the right thing and are in touch with some sort of power that can help us. That's where I'm putting my hopes.
Do you trust Willow?
Yeah, absolutely. I do.
If you came down between the church and you, who do you think Willow would side with?
He's already proven to me that he's willing to go against the wishes of the church by telling me things that he's been forbidden to.
Yeah. Well, they seem very untrustworthy to me, and they've definitely been communicating with leadership regarding my
Mhm.
actions. I'm pretty sure it was them that got my office um, ransacked.
Listen, I won't. Yeah, listen, I'm not fooling myself. I mean, Willow is a very good talker, and has been known to tell some untruths. But I think his heart is in the. I think their heart is in the right place.
But you think that they would choose you over the church if it came down to a choice?
Yes, I do. Maybe that's misguided, but I do believe that.
Because remember, the church killed your grandpa.
I'm not sure I know that for a fact. What I do know, James.
Church
Am I
killed
wrong,
everybody.
Shisho? Am I wrong, Shisho?
Do you, I mean, do you know that the church killed your grandpa? I don't think you know that.
I don't think I know that.
I
No.
know James said it like it's a motherfucking
I
proven
say
fact,
everything
honey.
like it's a
I
fact when it
know.
comes to the church killing people.
No,
I know.
I
It's
don't
like
think I know that. But what I do know, James, is that I've got a wife and a young daughter who I have to think about as well. And I feel like I'm not going to say that I'm going to align myself with the church forever, but I am right now.
Okay.
While I see it as helpful.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Thank you for loading this up. I won't
You
take
just
it.
be careful. You're going to draw unneeded attention to yourself and maybe to those of us who are trying to figure out what to do about this fight. I mean,
You said strength in numbers is the way to go, and my opinion is the more numbers, the better. And who better than the National Guard or state
you go. I
troopers
mean,
or
that's one way of thinking about it. Another is that you might find yourself forced, uh, locked up, basically,
okay,
institutionalized for saying such things
yeah,
to
but
unreceptive ears.
sure, that's fine. I mean, you head on back. I'll think on it.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
so we're gonna take a beat. Cole, do you leave immediately?
Hmm.
Okay.
I would text
Um,
Jenny that I'm okay, coming home, coming back now.
okay. And then,
XOXO.
aw. And then, James, are you taking time to think, or are you heading right to the police station?
Neither of those things. I
You're doing
am
something else.
doing something else. Don't worry about me
Okay,
for a while.
let's take a beat. So, meanwhile, we have the caravan. I imagine it is Joshua in the lead with
Marsha.
Marsha, and then Freya, and then Willow.
Mhm.
Okay. Willow, you just heard James say that he's gonna take the one of the things to the cops. Are you going to act on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, because you know for a fact that the church has a "we don't fuck with the police" attitude. They, even when there's like instances of real problems in the community, they have the "we'll take care of this internally" attitude. And very, very, very uncommonly would they ever go to the police for anything. So, how do you respond to that?
I want to I don't want to text the prophet. I don't think
Uh-huh.
that's maybe I text Nayeli if I have her number or
Mm,
Isaiah,
okay.
and I just let them know like maybe at a red light. I don't want to text and drive, but yeah, just
Okay.
let them know that there's talk of one of these bodies being revealed to the authorities.
So let's say you
And
text Nayeli.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Nayeli texts back. Um, I don't think that would be wise. Um, have you told the prophet about this?
uh, agree it's not unwise. Thought I should text you first. Wasn't sure if the prophet was busy just because I don't want to be like I didn't want to text him.
That's a great. Okay, so I'm gonna say roll to influence another, because that's a motherfucking lie, honey.
Yeah, it really
I
is. It
I didn't
really
even
is.
have to. I didn't have to even push you for a lie. You just gave me one.
That succeeded.
Great.
Yes.
So, she really thinks that you thought the prophet was busy. That's really funny. Okay.
Because,
So,
not that he would want to know about this otherworldly being being revealed to the public or anything, but
right, right.
It's
She's,
Sunday, sermon.
yeah. Well, it's the evening now at this point. So she'll text back and say, "Don't bother him with this. Um, we'll figure it out."
I just understood.
Okay. And so you all make your way to the back to the compound. So we'll take another beat. Freya, oh, I'm sorry, Freya and Josh. No, not Freya and Josh. Josh and Marsha. You're in the cab together. You're alone. Anything you want to talk about on your way to the compound?
I would talk to Josh.
What would you talk about?
I would probably wait till we were halfway there and
Josh
then
is dead silent the whole time.
Okay.
just be like, I promise it's the reason I left that church is nothing supernatural. I was married before and he left me and the whole church blamed me and they ostracized me until I was alone, even my own family. So, that's why I left. I was alone. But it's nothing supernatural.
Do you know where your ex-husband is now?
He's back at that church.
Sorry if this is too much. Please stop me. But can I ask why he left you? Or at least why he said he left you?
He didn't say. I guess he was unhappy. He left in the middle of the night, and I came home from Bible study, and he packed his things and was gone. The whole town knew he was leaving. The whole church knew he was going to just abandon me, and nobody told me.
Then is it possible that there's more to this story and maybe more to this church? Just like there's more to our church?
Yeah, but we've never had prophets or anything like this church, and those accents and people having visions has never happened at my church, and I grew up there.
Sure. But I imagine that there's different types of powers out there that might uh kind of like looks away for a second. They talk about different kinds of demons and such in these stories. And I imagine that like the kind of demon that makes someone have some kind of power manifests one way versus an angel that's got some other kind of power manifests a different way, right? So maybe whereas our church follows a certain kind of entity and power that manifests itself in these sort of celestial manifestations, or perhaps there's a different church that you used to belong to as a different sort of manifestation of their power and entity. And that's what these grobs are.
Sticking.
Are you going to visit my old church?
Well, I'd like to. I don't. I'm not the kind who can find out things good, but this James can't be any worse than I am at it. If he's willing to try it with Cole, I'd like the opportunity to do some investigating. But I think you'll be safer with the Youngs.
Yeah, I just worry about you.
Haven't taken me down yet. Kind of smiles at her.
But I just want you to be safe around James. He's doesn't seem stable.
I don't know if any of us are right now.
I think I trust you around Cole. He's Did you see what he did? That was like Ethel.
That was mighty impressive. And maybe I'll leave my knife with Freya. She'll keep you extra safe at the Youngs.
Yeah. And that'll be all Martha says.
Okay. So the two of you engaging in um this kind of like meaningfully engaged conversation, uh you experience some degree of closeness and assurance. Both of you are able to recover one stability. Okay. Freya, are you doing anything besides freaking out and driving?
Oh, she's got the radio turned up real fucking loud to just
Okay.
distractions.
Yeah, gotcha. Right. So as the evening shifts further into late evening, heading towards night, what is James doing?
So right after Cole takes off, he would go into his house and kind of look at the floor, the stains and the like, and
Hmm.
kind of do his best to kind of cover it up. Not clean it, just kind of like move a carpet here or this or that.
Okay.
He would then go to his car.
What about the ceiling? Leave it as is?
Um, yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to get up there, so it's fine.
Okay.
It's more about brevity right now than like super serious. Go back out to his car. He will then, because he has been contacted by the prophet before,
Hmm.
text him and say,
Hmm.
I need to talk to you. Meet me at the church, 15 minutes, and then I'll get in the car and drive.
Okay. And on that note, um, we're gonna take a little break, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
Quick bio break, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back from our break. And so as everyone is heading out to reconvene at the young residence, including Cole.
Yes.
Okay. We kind of flash to James, who uh texts this extremely sassy message to the prophet. Go ahead and roll your harassed disadvantage,
Yep.
James.
Uh,
Okay.
cool.
So, um, okay. You you get a text back from the prophet saying with one line, it says as you wish.
Yeah, I'll pull up to the church and wait. Engine running.
Okay. Um, you get a message because you're driving from your house, right?
Yeah.
When you pull up and park, engine running, you see that his car is already there.
Okay. I'll then turn the car off and get out. Um, Go to the back and grab the sloppy mess
Okay.
and drag it, just staining the asphalt, I presume,
Yeah.
right up to the church.
So you leave this kind of like the lemon color has sort of faded and it's like now more like this filthy yellowish beige as you drag the soaked comforter through, kind of like through the parking lot and up into the church. You go through the vestibule and into the main area. What is that part of the church called where like the pews are? Is that the sanctuary?
Yeah.
Okay, so you draw it in there, and you see Isaiah's there. Um, there are three men behind him. You recognize them as, parishioners of the church. Each of them is armed with a rifle.
I will.
And, huh?
I'll just stop.
Okay. James. Uh, that was an interesting text to get from you at a on a late evening. Isaiah is very old, very Texan, very Southern. Uh, he's elderly. He's a little stooped. What's that you got there, son? He does not acknowledge his bodyguards.
I didn't wake up very well this morning. Fortunately, other parishioners were in the area and saw something akin to this snooping around the area. Then I had some guests over for an after church event, and my doors were broken in. Now, I'm sure you saw earlier, probably everybody in town already knew that something was happening at my house. Is that right? You already knew about that.
Certain someone must have sent me a text about it. Probably most people in the church have seen now.
Sure. So, I just want to make sure you know that I kind of slide it forward and kind of just let it kind of fall forward. It was one of these that broke down my door, and another one that broke down my back door and attacked me and my guests.
He gestures to one of the men with his head, and the bodyguard, some, burly kind of meat-headed looking dude, with the butt of the rifle, kind of the starts to unroll the comforter, and Isaiah says, "Anybody hurt? And whatever happened?"
We'll get to the details later. Obviously, you come to this point a bit pressured. I gesture to the men with the guns. And you can probably understand that I come to this point a bit pressured as well. We haven't had the greatest of exchanges in the past, and I want to ameliorate that. I'd like to make it so we are a little bit more on the same page. Now, obviously, with this in front of me, I could have ran to the cops. I could have made a big fuss about it. I could have caused a lot of problems for the church, but you know what? I didn't.
Isaiah doesn't respond to you in that moment, but inspects the contents of um, the this package that you've unrolled for him, or that the bodyguard has unrolled, and the like body blobby part is it basically looks like kind of gritty, grimy, uh, and opaque jello that it's liquefying. Its bones are or bone like appendages are still there. Isaiah goes,
I
I don't
uh,
understand. What is that supposed to be?
I pull out my keys and I raise my hand up and I look at him and I say, "There's another one in my trunk. If you'd like to go and take it out." But they were talking about church business before they slammed through my house and started trying to kill me and my guests who were also churchgoers. And like I said, we'll get to the details when it comes to it. But as I said, you're pressed. I'm pressed. I'm bringing to you what appears to be a mess. A mess that the church wouldn't like to see brought forward to the world. Is that fair to say?
James, I think that you're misunderstanding your situation and your place in this congregation. I don't know what that is. If something has tried to hurt our parishioners, we can deal with it. We have, we are ready
Wait a
to
minute.
make battle on a spiritual and in a material way.
Wait a minute. I put my keys away. And I kind of look at him. You don't know what this is?
James,
This is the front line. This is what's attacking us. How do you not know what's coming for us?
I don't know what devilish spirit has possessed you to make you think that you can speak to me this way. Um, Go ahead and roll to avoid harm as
Ooh.
um as one of the but as the bodyguard near you aims to hit you across the face with the butt of his rifle.
So I avoid
Um,
it.
Wow.
how do you avoid it?
I will remove the gun from his arms.
James, be very careful with what you're about to do.
Bolt action rifle? What kind of rifle?
I don't know.
Yeah, sure, bolt action rifle. I pull back on the bolt, I let the round fly
Okay.
up, and I hand the man back his rifle. And I look at the prophet and I say, I do not want to fight you. I want to be with you. I do not want to have problems with you. I want to be a part of this church. Let me do this.
James, if you want to be a part of this church,
Let this man beat me in the face?
yes.
No. Where in the Bible does it say that I should be struck in the face, or anyone should be struck in the face for asking questions and trying to help? If this is really the end of the world, prophet, who can't even see these things in the future, then please let me help.
To survive in the world that's coming, absolute obedience is required, James, and there is something broken in you. Something broken that was broken in your father before you.
What'd you do to fix that? What did the church do to fix that?
Prophet before me was not as forgiving.
And I'm asking you to let me help you. I'm not asking you.
And I'm commanding you as the prophet of your church and the leader of the congregation that will inherit the world after its end, that you must come to heal, that you must
I am
take
here.
your rebellious spirit and that you must curb it,
I am here.
James.
I am presenting to you.
Being here is not enough. Being obedient is what it takes. And if you will not obey, then you will watch the church that raised you turn its back on you. Because this church, James, is under my command.
Okay.
And that is the way it will be until the end of days and beyond the end of days.
I
Roll again.
I
Roll
concede
again.
to your.
Nope. Roll again to avoid harm.
Okay.
I fucking hate you
This,
so much.
this time.
Oh my God.
Hold
This
on.
above the table. I
This,
fucking hate you.
this time,
Uh-huh.
instead, since I have the opportunity to receive it, I
Hmm.
will take the hit, but I'm going to avoid the harm. I'm going to make it look like it was a solid hit. I'm going to faux take the hit.
Okay.
And
Okay.
upon taking the hit, I'm going to turn the other cheek to the man, and I'm going to look to the prophet and say, I have come here to give you my obedience.
Wait. I got one more roll. So you're trying to do a little bit of a fake out. So I want you to roll to
Well,
influence another.
no, I don't care if he knows if I got hurt or not. I don't.
Okay. So it's not a fake out.
No, I'm telling him I come here showing you my
No,
obedience.
I'm talking about the strike.
Oh, I don't.
Either
They can say that however it looks. I'm not trying to play
okay.
it off like I really got hurt.
Okay.
I am literally like, rolling with a blow and then turning my
Okay.
other cheek to him. And then I'm looking to the prophet and I'm saying, I come here with obedience. I show to you a problem for the church. If you wish to turn your back on me at this point, that is your choice as prophet. I am giving you my subservience. I did not take this forward. I did not try to do anything outside of the church's will.
There's only one way that you are returning to the church
I,
as a parishioner.
I do not need to return to the church. And I will turn and I will walk out of the church.
then turn away.
And I walk out.
Okay.
He didn't even know what it was. Is the thing that keeps replaying in my head.
Well, do you know that he was telling the truth?
He didn't even know what it was. Would there be a read a
Okay.
person? Would that be something
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah, you can in that moment. What are your two questions?
Are you lying? And
S-
how could?
You're
Go ahead.
okay. No, no, no. Go ahead. What's the other
I
one?
was gonna say, how can I get you to admit that you're lying?
Um, you would be able to kind of detect a little twitch, a little sweat under his, in the bag of his eyes. As he said, I don't know what that is. A tremble in his voice. You've done a lot of interviews in your career as a journalist, and you get the feeling that the prophet definitely knew what that thing was somehow. You think that um, there are a couple of ways that you could get him to reveal truth to you or unveil his lies. One would be to make it to the innermost circles of the church,
Not
and
happening.
two, would be to torture it out of him. Those are really the only two ways.
That's happening. I leave,
Okay.
and I'm gonna drive, not to my house. I'm gonna drive um, out of the out of the town. I'm gonna just go somewhere out in the country and find a nice, quiet, middle of nowhere. Me not even registering where I'm going, and just find somewhere to park off in the quiet underneath the stars, and I'm gonna go to
Okay.
sleep.
Okay. As James's confrontation with the prophet ends, dodging blows at every fucking turn. Oh, that was like so fucking infuriating. It
I
was
just wanna,
so good.
I just wanna oppress you, John. I just wanna oppress you, and you won't let me.
Yeah. Okay. Driving off, the sky is clear and the beautiful, wide, broad, dark Texan sky fills with stars. Um, Back at Bee Caves, in the back in the young residents. First, Marsha and Josh pull in. They undo the chains. They let y'all in. Then Cole, no, no, and then Freya. They have to like check out and be like, "Who is this?" Imagine Josh and Marsha will vouch for her to let her in. She
Well, isn't
hasn't.
Willow there
Mhm.
too? Is Willow with Freya?
Willow
Was
Willow
behind
was
Freya.
behind was
Oh,
behind
okay.
Different
Freya.
cars.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
different
okay.
cars. So imagine Josh and Marsha give the thumbs up. Freya goes in. Willow goes in. Willow, as you are kind of entering you're like parking your car, getting out of the car. Have you been to the young residence since it's been like turned into a compound, basically?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. So you're looking around, you're like, okay. And you get a text from the prophet. It is a picture of you recognize the weird, gross legs, kind of in this traditional quilted comforter and a mass of goop. And the text says, "You failed to um, bring this sheep back into the herd, um, and as you know, as a shepherd, we must um, separate the goats from the sheep.
How am I supposed to do with that?
You know the goat, you know the sheep slash goat he's talking about. I would say you can,
For sure, for sure.
yeah.
Does he want me to
Okay.
slaughter James?
Wait, what? If that's the interpretation you take, then that's the interpretation you take. Moving on.
That
Um,
Willow's got like too much going on right now.
Guess I'm taking that lamp to the head.
limp to the head. Okay. So you uh Freya, wait, no, not Freya. Cole. No, no, not Cole. I'm like going through
You could do this. You could do it.
the Rolodex of characters. Okay, so Willow, you get immediately Nayeli Young emerges from the house looking pretty startled. Oh, is everyone okay? I know y'all have been dealing with some disturbing business. Um, Willow, Cole, I would like to talk to the two of you immediately, if possible. Cole, you're like barely out of the car. You haven't had a chance to talk to Jenny or
Uh,
to see your daughter, and Nayeli's already like, we gotta talk, we gotta talk.
mhm. I would go immediately there.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, she kind of pulls y'all into like a little like quiet nook and is like, are any of the people that you're with, um, can can we trust any of them?
Um, yeah, I think so. Um, we just had a really crazy experience, and Josh and Marcia and Freya were really helpful. And,
Okay.
I think they were very helpful, but I don't know how much we can trust a lot of them, at least not yet. There's a
Okay.
lot of loose ends here that
Okay. Okay. Well
we
then
don't know.
I'll just talk to the two of you. I mean, Willow, I know that you've been, counseling one of our parishioners, James. I just got a very strange phone call, or let me retract that. Melvin, my husband Melvin, Pastor Young, just got a very strange phone call from Prophet, saying that it's the last straw, that he's tired of dealing with the rebellious spirit that James inherited from his grandfather. I don't know, something. Um, and that he will be excommunicated from the church. The announcement will be made, I'm assuming, at least by next Sunday, if not before. Um, excommunication, like official excommunication, has not been common in the church. So, with everything that's happening now, I'm not really sure what that means. Um, what what happened?
Well, he's a goat, as you know. Uh, no kidding. Um,
No, I mean, if you want to say that in character, Nayeli picks up the reference. Okay.
okay, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it with that. And then we were there's a meeting of the minds at James' home, and we were all attacked by some creatures. I'm sure you've seen at least a photo. Um, we're fine. Everyone's fine. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means, but I know that it set James off in another spell. He was threatening to go to the police. I don't. I got a text from Prophet. Does not seem to be particularly happy with me, but that's really all I know is we were attacked.
Okay.
And then Cole would mention his later conversation just with James about um, him wanting to go to the authorities about the creatures and our encounter. And Cole mentioned that it was a bad idea.
Okay, yes, yes. I'm glad that you did your best to dissuade him. As much as I, and she gives like a meaningful glance at Willow, as much as I fear sometimes the prophet's approach, I still don't think going to the police would be a good idea. I don't. Um, I worry about what could happen to James. I worry about the things that lurk beyond our walls, and I worry about his specialness. Both of you know about that, right?
Um,
The dream jumping.
No, Willow does.
Cole doesn't really know much about that.
But he's heard it mentioned.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Laid it all out, yeah.
So I don't know. I okay, well, who knows what happened then? Um, if you two um were together with him today, and if you're close, I don't know, maybe try to help protect him, help him. I don't know. I have to say, going against the prophet, um, is a dangerous choice to make. Um, all right. I need to have well, I we're gonna have a brief women's meeting. And I know that the prophet prefers it to be women only, but I would like for you two to join.
Thank you.
Willow, you know this is a strict violation of the very original prophet's strictures, to have any kind of spiritual meaning be of mixed gender.
Do I have to roll fanatic or
I would.
what's that?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good.
Go ahead and take your stability damage.
Okay. One or two? Oh, minus
Two.
two. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
Where are you at?
I am currently at unhinged.
That's where I am, brother.
Hey.
Okay. So the two of you, siblings in madness,
Mhm.
how do you together like, so I will say, Cole, you seem very cool as a cucumber. So Cole and Willow, Nayeli is like inviting you two to come hang out with the girls. How do you react in an unhinged way? I want to see that play out.
Cole, do you wanna hang out with the women?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, right? Like we've been missing out for so long.
I think that Jenny will really appreciate this.
Think so? I might meet someone.
Yikes. Okay. That is unhinged. So, Marcia and Freya, the two of you are also by the way, I guess we'll take a beat. Marcia, Josh, Freya, what do y'all do as you arrive at the compound?
Freya's taking everything in because she hasn't seen anything like this in her life. Like she's seen TV shows and stuff and like prepper shows every now and again, but
Yeah,
this is like outside of what she considers normal.
yeah. Okay. Josh, Marcia.
Marsha's gonna go upstairs and wash her face.
Okay, I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do right now. Um, and Josh. Zach, are you disassociating? Or getting high? Okay, we'll let Zach disassociate in peace. Um, okay. So, all of you then are at some point in the next 15 to 20 minutes approached by Nayeli and pulled into the meeting in the library of the house, which is now full of boxes of meals ready to eat. She kind of like pulls up a box and sits on it and kind of gestures for everybody to do the same if you agree to meet. Does anybody not agree to meet?
Uh-uh.
I'm very excited.
Okay. All right, everybody. I wanted to have this meeting with all of you because I have a confession to make. Over my many years of service to this church and to this prophet, I've gained deeper awareness and greater knowledge about the truth of the world that I could ever have imagined. I've learned about a great sprawling darkness that exists between the thin film of an illusion that keeps us sleeping. I imagine that in the past month, all of you have seen that film torn open as Willow's token starts to spin. There are secrets that the church has kept, secrets that even I could not uncover. But but what I have learned leads me to question and to doubt. Jenny, who's also part of this group, um, lays a hand on top of Nayeli's hand and squeezes. I think the prophet is a charlatan. There are so many things about the history of the church and about the truths that we have been taught that doesn't add up. Something is happening, something terrible. And we may have the means to protect ourselves. In the past, the prophet and those who accepted his authority blindly would be able to silence. Whoa! Oh,
What just happened?
I don't know. Everything shifted. Anyway,
Uh-oh.
um, and those that followed him blindly would help him to keep people isolated. The previous prophet would even have people killed. And if you all could see the histories that I have read about the brutal history of our church and how it has treated those brave and foolish enough to raise questions. But I have been able to keep learning, and I believe that I maybe may be able to protect us, not just from the darkness behind the illusion, but maybe even from the prophet himself. And you see Nayeli's like heartbreak and revulsion at hearing her say those words. How do you all react?
Willow's kind of in shock as well at the moment.
This is a ladies' meeting, so Cole's gonna be quiet.
Yes, we stand a feminist king.
Hmm.
Um, Freya's gonna be looking really confused and dumbfounded, just asking like, what do you mean? What do you mean illusion, veil, any of this? What do you mean the church has a dark history? Like, it's just a
Well,
fucking church.
right, Freya. You know, a lot of churches can look back and they look back, 1,000 years, 2,000 years to their founding, and maybe nobody really knows the full truth about their prophet. But our church was not founded that long ago, maybe 100 years or less. There's photographs, there's records. Um, in the early church, the prophet uncovered or invented or divined rituals that, as far as I can determine, have nothing to do with the Bible and Christianity. And they would go out into the woods and build bonfires. Um, this is not something that's ever really been part, even of our scriptures that we have. I found out that it was happening just maybe months ago. There's a history of people being killed who dare to question the prophet. There's a history of entire families being put to death for their heresy. That is the bloody history of our church. And now, about the veil, there is an unseen world, Freya, and for some reason, that, oh God, would Nayeli say meniscus? I don't think she would. That membrane is coming apart. I think all of you have seen that.
If they've really, sorry, if they've really killed people, like you said, for going against the church, why are you telling us this? Doesn't this put targets on our backs?
It might, but we are not alone. There are more of us scattered throughout Texas. I have been very quietly and without drawing attention sending out messages to see who I could draw out. And I think that recently there's enough of us where we can protect ourselves and each other. Um, there are too much resources, in my opinion, there are too many resources here that we need to survive what's coming and to survive this undoing of the veil that is happening. And I'm more afraid of what's behind that veil than I am of the prophet.
I don't understand it. So if they are killing people, why has no one gotten to the police? Like it sounds like there's documentation of this.
Would you, I mean, none of us would have, all of us have been raised for you know this well, to never, ever interface with the police. Imagine, 30 years ago, even, this was a tiny little town. There was no Bee Cave Mall here. There was no, The Gap, Galleria, like,
Puggies.
but there was no Bucky's. There was no police to reach out to. People were frightened. The only person recently who did try to reach out to the police, or most recently, was in the last couple of decades, was the father of James, your uncle, Freya. And, you know, he didn't survive that. I don't know what going to the police will be good for, honestly. I don't have faith that the police will help us, but I have faith in me. And I'm asking all of you right now to put your trust in me, to learn from me, so that we can take back this congregation and we can take back our faith and we can survive this very dangerous time that is coming.
So Willow is very stuck right now. When I was going through the archives,
Hmm.
was there any mention of families being killed, people being killed? Any mention of like the bloody
You,
history at all that I could like connect with?
you, Willow, did not, like, you had a very targeted search, and you didn't mention at the time that you were doing any kind of like exploration or like looking
Right.
around at other things. You were very targeted. Um, but as you were like you would have, of course, have seen, you know, some documentation that wasn't necessarily about James's family, and you would notice that suddenly families would disappear from the record. You probably would have noticed that some of the like records that logged, well, we'll just say that you did notice or you recall in this moment, like going, huh, why did that family, where did that whole family just disappeared, you know? And you know that the church records of like, you know that the church keeps tabs on everyone. So it is weird when a family just disappears.
Hmm. So is there no value in staying with the prophet? Because theoretically, we're safe. No? So long as we are faithful, so long as we are obedient, we are safe.
Nayeli looks at you right in the eyes, Willow, and says, I'm keeping you safe.
Does Marcia say anything?
I think when Niley says, I'm keeping you safe, um, it's with the prayers that she's taught me that I was able to even wake Josh and James. I haven't seen the proof that the prophet's done anything to help us here.
The only time Josh ever had nightmares here on this compound was after the intervention of James. I imagine an entity must have followed in. If you if you are here, I can protect you from being targeted by those infernal things that haunt your nightmares. If you are here on this compound, the prayers I have formed keep these things out. And she pulls out the phone and shows that photo of like the roll of the comforter that James uh brought the prophet, which is now kind of circulating
Hmm,
amongst
hmm,
the church leadership. They don't come here since I put up the prayer that I did. Right? Marcia, Joshua, they haven't returned here.
No, and Cole saved us in that room with those prayers. Did you hear him? He he heard me reciting them, and
He would squeeze Jenny's shoulder a little tighter and then explain.
That is so zaddy coded.
He's cheesing. Look at him cheesing. Oh my god.
He was like an angel.
Jenny looks alarmed, but also admiring. Whoa!
Ba-
Oh my God.
baby number 2 on the way.
Oh my God. I gotta, like, oh my God. Andy. Okay. Marcia, you kind of drag out that Cole, has also kind of been touched by the divine flame. And Nigeli says, "Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about." Even Ethel, and Ethel is sitting, a few seats down, or like sitting on a nearby on another box. This this has nothing to do with the prophet. I'm sorry to say it, Willow. It has nothing to do with the blood of Christ. There's something or someone else that empowers us. I like to think of her as a guardian angel driving us towards awakening. Josh, that pings for you. Oh, Zach is probably still zonked out.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me see if I can DM.
Would Josh be at this meeting? I thought this was the ladies' meeting that Willow and
Oh
Cole
shit,
were
you're right. You're right.
involved
You're
in.
right. You're right. You're right. Dang it. I forgot. Josh is not included because Zach is probably asleep at
Maybe.
his desk. I can see that. Little cute little sleepy little Zach. Oh.
Does
Um yeah, go
does
ahead.
she have a name?
I don't I've been afraid to say the name out loud. Sometimes I hear it resounding in my dreams. I can't believe I'm about to speak out loud for the same time for the first time. I call her Malkuth.
Malkuth.
Get down from there.
Do you understand her? What it is, what she is? Can you say that you really trust this being?
That is a mystery to me. But what I have come to understand is that it is she who blessed the original prophet with visions, that gifted him with awakening, and it is her lessons that we learn when we learn to pray the way that myself, Jenny, Ethel, Marcia, and other women in the church have. They are not the words, uh, they're not Hebrew words or Aramaic words or any such earthly language, but I imagine the language language of angels themselves.
And our current prophet? No connection to this?
He too draws from her knowledge. That is, he does. But I don't think that he draws upon her wisdom, or any wisdom for that matter, in the ways that he has been implementing our learning of these topics. Um, I mean, you have to agree with me that it's backward, regressive, sexist to split us up by sex. I mean, what contemporary church does that? I would want to be a part of that church.
Roll my eye for detail.
Yeah.
Can I just want to ask, what are you working on? What is the other than convincing us, like what's the goal here?
It is very clear to you, Willow, that Nayeli wants to be the head of this community.
Mhm.
You have one more question.
Um, since she's talking about how violent the current church is, are you capable of violence yourself?
You detect a similar sort of devotion, fervor in her that you've detected in your prophet.
Oh boy.
So should we not side with you and this new regime? What would happen to us?
Regime? What are you talking about, Willow?
If we're upending everything that we know, abandoning God, even if our religion is completely backwards. I hate to say that. I hate, but it is. If we
Roll your
leave
fanatic
everything,
again. Roll
yep,
fanatic.
yeah, we're gonna be unhinged, everybody.
Broken even.
Oh
Yes,
no.
we're unhinged. Wait, no, sorry, we're broken.
That makes sense for you.
Broken
There's
shit.
infighting in your church you were never aware of. I mean, this feels
Yeah, and
appropriate.
it's just all too much.
And like this person who was like, who, was always like a steward of the church is kind of like, there's no God. Let's worship a fertility goddess and become lesbians and
Yep,
get abortions and kill the prophet. So
I'm
anyway,
not handling that well.
Oh, I didn't get that memo. I want all that. Yeah.
so you're
Hmm.
babbling. Like you think you're asking, what were you gonna ask? Oh, okay. She goes, what
Regime.
what regime? And then you go, yeah, our church is uh regressive and it sucks. And then afterwards you start babbling and like everybody around you is like, Willow, what the fuck? Are you okay? And you think you're asking like really um like articulate questions.
Okay, cool. And then I guess after I just talk myself into circles, I'll just be quiet.
No, 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 no. You're talking. What do
Oh,
the rest of
good.
you do?
Have I seen Willow like this before? That's cool.
Fuck no.
Yeah. He would try to pull Willow aside and calm him down.
How?
Um, maybe by getting some fresh air. By talking of their childhood. Um, uh,
Nah. Maybe slap them.
no, he's not going to do
Snap
that.
out of it.
Just the airplane scene, just everybody taking turns slapping Willow.
I was literally posting the GIF.
Yes.
Okay, so Cole, you are trying your best to like reassure and give Cole a moment, taking them out for a breath of fresh air, and at first, like they slow down and eventually they shut the fuck up, but they're still kind of like a little catatonic. Does that sound good, Willow?
Yeah, that sounds very fair.
Okay. Cole, do you rejoin Nayeli and the women?
Yes.
Do you leave
No,
do you
I
leave
mean, no,
Willow in the
no.
hallway?
So I would,
And he's like,
what?
let's go.
Wait a second. Uh, um, I would go back in and I would ask Jenny to come with and stay with Willow while I go back into the meeting. Because I was saying,
That's kind of misogynistic, but okay.
no,
You can do
and,
that.
and what I would say
You could
is,
say, "Hey, you're a woman. Why don't
no,
you
that
caretake?" And then
stop.
I'll do the investigating.
No, I said that, I would say, I want to understand more about this power that I have, and I feel like Neely is a really great chance to do that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Do you want me to sit with Willow for a bit?
Just for a little bit, thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Um, no problem. I love Willow and I would do anything for them. And Jenny very kindly steps out and sits, on this like hardwood bench that's sitting outside the door with Willow and, kind of like does the shoulder squeeze. Um, all right, Cole, you go back in.
Hmm.
Any thoughts from Marsha?
Oh, Marsha is like, she'd been thinking stuff was off with the prophet and all this stuff, and now
Mhm.
that Naeli's like brought it to light, she's like, yes, I was thinking something wasn't right. So now she's drinking the Kool-Aid. Everything Naeli said.
Okay. Do you share with the group that you had been suspicious of the prophet?
No. No.
Okay. So, like, everyone around you can kind of see your eyes widening, maybe nodding, like showing or do you try to hide that you're drinking the Kool-Aid? Are
No.
you all in? All in.
All in.
Okay. Um, Cole and Freya, any other questions or thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Frey. You first, please.
Freya's mind is just like really fucking all over the place at the moment. It's been a long fucking day. She doesn't have any specific questions. She's just like staring where Willow walked out and just like looking around the room like, anyone gonna talk about that?
Cole?
Yeah, I think this is all too much for him. Um, he his devotion to the church is far stronger than mine, and I think everything that he heard tonight really just sort of pushed him over the edge. But I think he'll be able to process it eventually. Jenny's with him now, and I'll go to him soon.
Yes, your sibling Willow is a singularly loyal person, and that is why I wanted them to join this conversation. I know that we need people that we can count on, and I heard them start to say, do we need to upturn anything? We don't need to upturn anything yet, but all of us need to become more adept at learning uh the lessons that Malkuth has left for us. And we will get there in due time, soon. I have a lot of faith in all of you. All of you have shown great curiosity in one way or another. And I think that is one of the defining virtues of our new way forward. Are there any other questions? I think it's been a long day for all of us, and it's time for bed. At least for me.
The book, the Bible that you've given us, is that Malkuth's teachings?
In a way,
Or is
the
that
original prophet, Marsha, took the messages that he received from Malkuth, which I believe were too complex for him to interpret, and put them in a complex symbolism into his writings. Some of the rituals that we do to protect this house, were deciphered by another prophet from those books. So, in a way, yes, and in a way, no. And yeah,
do you want us reading it any further?
yes, yes. Honestly, don't change what you're doing. We will continue to have women's group. Cole and you may be excluded probably from women's group for a while, as to not raise too much suspicion. But Jenny, you're welcome to. Oh, well, Jenny will be welcome to share anything that we learn with you.
Great.
Okay. And as the meeting breaks, all of you begin to move out, and you go to tents. Some of you have to sleep in a tent. Some of you are sleeping in a spare room. Some of you might be sleeping in the garage where they've set up bunk beds and cots. And we finally, thankfully, put an end to a very difficult Sunday. Thank you for watching, those that did, and we will see everyone again next time.